Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that, well, it affects pretty much all of us. How the huge business of healthcare is fighting to get our attention. And it all kicks off with one really simple thing.
And I'm willing to bet you've done it, right? That simple search. You know, that little moment of worry or just plain curiosity. That is exactly where modern healthcare marketing kicks in. It's the very first step on a path that providers are spending millions, literally millions, to try and steer you down.
And believe me, it has become an absolute battlefield out there. The days of just having one local hospital to choose from, long gone. Now you've got this whole web of clinics, specialists, huge hospital systems. They're all vying for your attention. It's made the fight to get new patients just incredibly fierce.
So, in this new world, winning isn't just about throwing money at the problem. It's not about who has the biggest wallet. It's about who has the smartest one. It takes real strategy, real precision. You have to spend every single dollar as carefully as a surgeon plans an incision.
And, this new reality means the old ways, they just don't cut it anymore. Not even close. So let's dig into why that classic marketing playbook is, well, pretty much gathering dust in this digital age. I mean, just look at the difference here. On one hand, you've got the old school stuff, right? Billboards, flyers. Kind of has a nostalgic feel, for sure, but trying to figure out if it's actually working, that's a Herculean task. But then you flip to the other side, and digital marketing, it's a treasure trove of data. It gives providers a direct, measurable line right to potential patients.
Okay, so if digital is clearly the way to go, what's the game plan? What's the blueprint look like? How much should a hospital or a clinic actually be spending? And maybe more importantly, where does that cash need to go? Let's get into the golden numbers.
All right, first up is the big picture, the total budget. The industry benchmark, what everyone kind of agrees on, is that a modern healthcare organization should plan on putting about 7 to 10% of its entire revenue into marketing. Yeah, that's the baseline. That's just the cost of entry to even compete these days.
But here's the real kicker. This is the most important part of the whole puzzle. Of that big marketing budget we just talked about, the data is crystal clear. At least half of it, a bare minimum of 50%, has got to go straight into digital. Anything less than that, and you're not just falling behind, you're practically waving a white flag.
And this really just paints the perfect picture of that massive shift, doesn't it? Digital is no longer some small slice of the pie or an afterthought. No way. It's the dominant half. It's the main engine driving growth in healthcare today, period.
So the big question is, where exactly does that 50+% of the budget go? You can't just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. A winning strategy really zeroes in on 4 core channels. This is where you get the most bang for your buck.
First on the list is SEO, or search engine optimization. Okay, so think of it like this. Your website is this hidden gem, right? Well, SEO is the treasure map that leads people right to it. It's what makes sure that when someone Googles their symptoms or searches for a doctor nearby, your website is one of the first things they see. It's all about getting found without having to pay for every click.
Next up, you've got PPC, pay per click. So if SEO is the map, PPC is like a hyper-targeted bullhorn. This is where you're actually paying to blast your message out, but only to very specific people. We're talking people based on exactly what they're searching for, where they live, you name it. It's all about getting in front of the right person at the exact right moment they need you.
Then there's content marketing. Now this one is all about building trust. It's a different game. By creating genuinely helpful stuff like blog posts, videos, infographics that answer real questions people have, a provider stops being just a business and becomes a source of truth, a reliable, credible place people turn to for information.
And last but not least, we've got social media. And look, this is way more than just posting happy holidays. The real goal here is to build a community. It's about having actual conversations, sharing useful updates, and just staying present, so that when someone does have a health issue, your practice is the first one that pops into their head.
But let's be real. All this spending, it's completely pointless if you have no idea if it's working, right? So how do you actually measure success? How do you know you're not just throwing money into a black hole?
Okay, this is absolutely crucial to understand. This whole strategy isn't a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. It's not like firing a cannon and just hoping it hits something. It's much more like steering a ship. You're constantly checking your course, tracking the data, and making small adjustments to stay on track.
And the way you track it is with something called KPIs, Key Performance Indicators. Think of these as the vital signs for your marketing's health. You're asking simple but powerful questions. How many people are coming to our website? Are any of them actually reaching out? And, the big one, how many are turning into actual patients booking appointments?
And that data, that's where the power is. It lets a hospital or a clinic be incredibly nimble. They can see what's working, say a Google ad campaign that's bringing in tons of appointments, and pour more money into that. And at the same time, they can pull back from what's not working. It's all about making sure every single dollar is pulling its weight.
So, after looking at this whole strategic blueprint from their side of the table, it really all comes back to us, doesn't it? It leaves us with one final and I think really important question to chew on. As the patients, the people on the receiving end of all this, what do we actually want from healthcare marketing? And what just feels like noise?